A guy secretly stuffed the body of the man he'd hit and killed with his car into his mom's coffin. But right after he sealed the coffin shut, a phone started ringing inside. That's when he suddenly remembered that in his rush to hide the body, he'd forgotten to take the phone out of the dead guy's pocket. There was no way he could pull the coffin nails out by hand now, cause the security guard was already at the door. Luckily, the phone stopped ringing just as the guard walked in. All the guard saw was a grieving son, totally torn up by his loss. The guard was about to offer his condolences when he noticed that the coffin nails looked like they'd been moved. The next day, when they were burying his mom, the pallbearers all felt like something was off about the coffin. John watched as the coffin was lowered into the ground, and finally felt like he could breathe easy, but then he had to deal with his banged-up car. His colleague had told him earlier that the Anti-Corruption Bureau was investigating evidence of John's bribery and planned to search his car thoroughly. John quickly wiped the blood from the trunk, but what about the crack in the windshield? Just then, a police car pulled up right in front of him. John got an idea. He buckled up his seatbelt, put on a mouthguard, and floored the gas pedal. When the cop came over to deal with him, John claimed that the car in front hadn't set its parking brake, causing the collision. The cop was going to give him a lecture, but when John showed his ID, the cop backed off immediately. Turns out John was the cop's boss. So, John managed to send his car in for repairs without a hitch. As soon as he got back to the police station, he got assigned to a mission to arrest a drug dealer. When he saw the dealer's photo, he was shocked speechless. It was the same guy he'd hit and killed the night before. Even though he knew the guy was dead, John joined his colleagues in the arrest operation, just going through the motions. While the other officers were focused and on high alert, John just strolled around casually. And guess what? He ran into the dog that had witnessed the accident. John followed the husky back to the street where it happened. He saw the skid marks from his emergency stop and a pool of blood. Right then, another police car showed up. Some concerned citizen had reported the accident that had happened there the previous night. To his horror, there was a security camera, which surely captured the whole thing. John pretended to examine the footage carefully, hoping to find a chance to delete it. Fortunately, the camera was old and busted, and the video was so blurry that you couldn't make out the license plate number. Just as he started to relax, he got an anonymous call. A deep-voiced man said he'd seen John hit the guy and was threatening to send him to prison for life if he didn't hand over the body ASAP. The next day at work, a narcotics officer approached John. The officer gave him a welcome punch and then apologized, saying he'd mistaken him for someone else. When John heard that deep voice, he was certain this was the guy from the phone call. So, he followed the officer to the restroom. Without a word, the narcotics officer beat the crap out of John, shoved his head in the toilet, and demanded to know where the body was. John was no match for him, so he promised to hand over the body by the next day.